Today our lab will be regarding inter-VLAN routing. Okay. Yesterday we did a VLAN. We configured VLAN on 3 switches. So we were able to demonstrate that inside the same VLAN, PC were able to ping each other, but outside the VLAN they were not able to talk, right? So for that one, cross talk among the VLAN need a layer 3 devices. Okay, for inter that is what the inter-VLAN routing is. Okay, so for that one, what we will do today, we'll take again 3 switches. Okay, and with these switches, we'll take one PC. Okay, we're gonna connect them. We're gonna give IP address as we already understand the IP addressing. Very different network 192.168.1.10. Here we'll give 192.168.2.10, and here 192.168.3.10. Okay, so they are basically 3 different network. Okay, it's all class C but very different because the third octet is having a different value. Okay, so now we're gonna configure the VLAN on these switches. For that one, we have to go into the configure terminal mode. That's a global configuration mode. Here we're gonna create a VLAN database. So VLAN 10 name admin, VLAN 20 name medical staff, VLAN 30 name support staff. Okay, and this FA01 is connected with this PC. So what we're gonna do, interface first and 0 by 1 switch port mode access. As we discussed yesterday, by default all ports of switches are in access mode, but it's a very kind of a standard procedure that we are using this command. And then switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, so this 10 is now part of admin VLAN. Okay, similarly here on this switch, what we're gonna do, we're gonna configure again here the database. As you can see, we have only 3 switches, and each and every switches we have to configure the VLAN database. So it's kind of a cumbersome experience for a network guys to configure for a 550 or 100 um, switches. So why not to have a kind of a solution where we don't have to create each and every VLAN on all the switches. For that one, we have a something called VTP from the Cisco Virtual Tunneling Protocol we are saying. So that we're gonna cover some other day. So for today, I'm gonna create manually here VLAN 10 name admin, VLAN 20 name medical staff, VLAN 30 name support stuff. Okay, and here we're gonna say interface. This is FA01 again, FA0 by 1, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, so we put this guy in the medical staff department. Okay, and here we're gonna do the same thing. Interface VLAN 10 admin VLAN 20 medical staff VLAN 30 support stuff. Okay, and here interface is again here FA0 by 1, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 30. So what we did till now, we have configured the VLAN, which we have already configured yesterday also. Okay, and with each VLAN, we will have a single PC member of that VLAN. Now, even though if you're gonna connect this one with the switches, it will not communicate unless and until we will do the inter-VLAN routing. So for that one, I'm gonna take today the L3 switches 3560, and then we're gonna connect this layer 2 switches with this layer 3 switches. So basically this we are saying the core switches. So 3560 is the core switches. Now we have understand the two kind of port which switch is having. One is the access port, another one is the trunk port. Why we need a trunk port? If we want to send some packet with the VLAN tagging information. So what this VLAN tagging is basically the identification of the Ethernet frame, whether this particular Ethernet frame belong to which particular VLAN. Okay. If we want to communicate, let's say this is VLAN 10, this is 20, and this is 30, the three different department. If they want to communicate, this switch should understand which particular VLAN this particular data or belong to. Okay, so for that one we have a two protocol. One we are saying dot one q, that's and another one is saying ISL. So dot one q is an open standard, and ISL is basically your Cisco proprietary protocol. What do you mean by proprietary protocol? Is that it's only works on Cisco platform. Okay, so for that what we're gonna do, we're gonna create this interface FA0 by 2 switch port mode trunk. Okay, and then we're gonna say switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, and 30. So this is how we are saying that 10, 20, and 30 all are allowed. We can say that it gives you a kind of a security also. Okay, so the interface again FA0 by 2 switch port mode trunk, and then switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, and 30. And here also we'll do the same thing. Interface FA0 by 2 switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, 30. Okay, so this is how we configure the trunk port on all those switches. Okay, this switch is gonna connect with the core switches. So what we gonna do the for this core switches for inter-VLAN routing, we have to make a virtual interface here that is called SVI, switch virtual interface. So let's see, VLAN 10 name admin and VLAN 20 name medical staff, VLAN 30 name support staff. And then what we have to do is interface VLAN 10 IP address 192.168.1.1 subnet mask 255.255.255.0 no sir, and then interface VLAN 20 IP address 192.168.2.1 subnet mask 255.255.0 sub interface VLAN 30 IP address 192.168. Interface VLAN 30, sorry, IP address 192.168.3.1.255.255.255.0. Okay, so this is how we configured our virtual interface and IP routing. Here now on each and every PC we have to give them a default gateway. That is basically our virtual interface IP address which we have configured on L3 switches 1.1 for 1 dot series. For 2 dot series it is 192.168.2.1 and for 3 dot series it is 192.168.3.1. So now we have configured the gateway as well as the virtual interface here, and let's see if we are able to send packet from one VLAN to another VLAN. So you can see here we are able to send a successful packet. Why the first packet is dropped? Just because of this ARP concept. We're gonna cover it later. Okay. So you can see this particular VLAN guy, very different VLAN guy, now can communicate with the other VLAN. Means this admin staff can now send their document to the medical staff, send their document or share their document with the support staffs also. So this is how this inter-VLAN communication works with the help of layer 3 switches, that is called switch virtual interface. Okay, so yeah, that's it.